I guess it's going to be a short rant about the Stephen Clark situation, who is our black sacrifice du jour. While Stephen Clark got shot under dubious circumstances, there have been two shootings similar, but more heinous in Los Angeles. We'll discuss those on another day. The Stephen Clark thing is interesting because he's not being judged on what he did to him, which should be judged as a police matter and social policy. He's being judged by, one, he's not married to he's not mated to a black woman. And two, some of the things that he may have said, just a couple of tweets, from my estimation, about black women. Fair enough, you can dislike the dude if you want to, but there's a growing trend that women want quid pro quo for their support towards supposedly their men. And they don't want to speak out against brutality in their community unless they get praised, unless they have a code of conduct that's acceptable to them. Quid pro quo. And there's a couple of themes that bother me that a few of my other YouTube brothers actually mentioned. I do believe it was LAR that actually said it. Black women have this idea that they're protecting black men from something, or claim that they are protecting black men from something, which reminds me of single mother praise. You're praising yourself for a single mother, being a single mother, for dealing with a condition that you put yourself in, and you're supposed to be heaped with praise. You make a mistake or you make an error in judgment, you bring a child into the world without a father, and yet you're supposed to be praised for dealing with your error, no matter how the kid turns out. This kind of reminds me of the same thing. You want praise and you want extreme acceptance because you decided that you're going to speak out because not a white man, not an Asian man, not an Hispanic man, but your men in your community was killed under dubious circumstances by the police. Now, as an American, as a citizen of the United States or a citizen of that city, no matter what color you are, no matter what color the victim is, since black people especially are targeted or given special attention by police, you should rally around this cause, not because you're protecting the man, because the man is already dead. You did a lousy job of protecting him if that was the case, or supporting him because he's already dead. He doesn't need support. But you don't want to rally around him and solve the problem until somebody in your community that's in Sacramento, who happens to be married to a black woman and have a black wife with black children, gets killed because you failed to do something when the problem had presented itself, because it's not in a package or a circumstance that you don't like. And that's called immaturity. That's called lack of wisdom. That's called insanity. This is not a popularity contest. This is not a reality show. This is not about who you like. Because those two police didn't see a man who had children by an Asian woman, or if he had a white wife, they didn't pull his facial recognition and say, okay, this dude is targeted to be killed and he's okay to be killed because he's married to such and such and such. That didn't happen. All they saw was a black man, a black person, and that's problematic. And that's what you're out there protesting against. That's what you're out there trying to fix. It's not about him being who he was. It's about what the police saw and projected upon him. A black figure. Because next time it won't be a 21-year-old man who's married to an Asian woman. It'll be a Tamir Rice or a Trayvon Martin, who the police mistakenly thought was a suspicious black man and gunned him down. And it could be your son or your brother or your husband or your boyfriend or your teacher or your neighbor next door. Could be the black brother that pulled some knuckleheads off of you, stopped two girls from fighting. It could be a brother that's taking care of his kids after his wife died. It could be a community activist. Because when the police pull you over or the police are targeting you, they don't see all that. They don't pull your ID card. They don't pull who you are. They don't pull who you're married to. They see a black man, and all black men are threats. So you can't take this immature, stupid ass position that we're going to check your credentials or your social credentials or your social tweets to actually solve a goddamn problem. Either you're fucking in or out. Either you are our women or you're not. And you wonder why black men have problems with you. That bullshit that you're a ride or die or you're for the race is bullshit. Because at race people or race men that are down for the race or down for black people globally don't do this. It is policy. We might not like you. You might be married to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman like OJ was. OJ was notorious for being married to white women. But when it came down to his trial for murder, we saw him as a black man. And we saw other black men that could have been in his shoes and have been in his shoes and didn't get the support that he needed. So this waffling, this kibbutzing that black women do, all it really means is you don't want us as black men, and you should go ahead and say that. Because you're looking for a reason. Anytime women look for a reason not to support you means they don't want you. And the only reason they're treating you that way is because they feel that they're stuck with you. And I think in my heart of hearts, and I think in their heart of hearts, they really want to be free from us. And I've said that in numerous videos. And when this kind of stuff comes up, they prove it. As far as protecting us from something, black boys are still at the bottom in all school scores. They're still at the bottom. And just a report by the New York Times that black boys are at the bottom, or when they grow up, have just as big a chance of being poor as anybody else, no matter where they come from. Black boys are still the most ill-prepared for adulthood. They're still the most discriminated against. They still go to jail more than anybody else in numbers and proportion. They're still targeted by the police more than anybody else. They're still killed in a bigger percentage, even though there's more white men killed. The numbers are still the same. It ain't changed in 50 years. Now, black women have control of the black community for over 60 years. And guess what? Nothing's changed for black men. You still can't protect us, even though you keep saying that you have. You couldn't protect us then. You can't protect us now. But what you could do is support us. And when a black woman is killed, we don't check her goddamn tweets. We don't see who she's married to or who she dates. If the sister was wrongfully killed by the police, we support her. I think I go back to the movie The Black Panther, when Michael B. Jordan was photographed dating a non-black woman. Not married to, but dating a non-black woman. And the black feminists were all at Twitter about how they shouldn't support Black Panther. It was all this fluff. I go back and I look at 3 of the women that are in Black Panther are dating white men. Nothing was said. Now, did black men make a big deal out of that? No. Did they go support Black Panther? Yes, they did. Because at the end of the day, it's about the work. It's about us supporting black people, not just those that are there at the tip of the spear, but those at the shaft that come behind them. It's the same thing. When a person gets killed, that person is dead. It's not about that person. And black women are too stupid to figure that out. It's not about that person. It's not about that person's family. It's about the next person. It's about the next Stephan Clark or the next Trayvon Martin. I remember that whole thing about I'm not marching for Eric Garner. You're not fucking marching for Eric Garner. Eric Garner's dead. You can't march for him. You're marching for the future Eric Garners that would be in the same doggone position. And the same thing would happen to him. Grow up, black women. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, that's the end of my short rant. I didn't want to keep it long because I could rave for hours. You guys know how I can be, especially if I get wound up. So that's what I wanted to say real quick about Stephan Clark, the black female knuckleheads that are out there trying to equivocate about policy. All hands on deck, saying no time for a popularity contest. With that, I'm going to jump off of here. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.